I'm an Air Force pilot, a Vietnam veteran. I was responsible for a large number of pilots and airmen while on active duty. When I initially heard stated by somebody who was supposedly speaking to the President that we were going to require military personnel experiencing service-related injuries to have privacy of their personal health care after returning from the theater, I said that can't be true. That can't be true. When I heard the President say it, I was thunderstruck. Because we never left our people behind, and yet our President has proposed to leave our people behind in their beds, having exhausted their families, health care program required, and who's going to take care of the rest of the family? And if you'd speak to that, I sure appreciate it.
Sorry, could you just repeat again what you said the President had said?
The President had said that an individual who has service-related injury, having returned to the theater, is going to be required to go through his personal insurance, and to treat combat-related injuries. If you've ever seen the bill at Walter Reed or any of those places, and I've seen them, and what they cost in real dollars, you know that there is no company, whether it's General Dynamics, Pan American World Airways, who I worked for 25 years, or anybody else, that's going to be able to stand that kind of attachment and still provide insurance for the family.
Yeah, I got you. When the budget was presented in early February, after the inauguration, Peter Orszag, who was the budget director, did submit a budget proposal that said that if there was veterans receiving veteran services who were covered by insurance, that the VA would be able to seek third-party reimbursement for those services. That idea lasted about 24 hours before it got pounded into the dirt. And I will just tell you that was completely dropped from the budget that this chart represents. There is absolutely not a penny of reimbursement that is authorized under the Defense Authorization Bill, any Veterans Committee bill that came out of committee, or this budget. It's gone. I mean, and again, the veterans community, because of very powerful, eloquent statements like yours, was on it like white on rice. Within seconds of it being proposed by Orszag, and it's gone. It's dead.
Hey, Chris, worked 7 years Air Force Vietnam era, and frankly, I like to thank the VA. I'm a beneficiary of the VA system. The VA has been pointed out as an example of government-run program that has been very effective. Well, we know that there are cracks in the ceiling of wall members. We know there are cracks in the bureaucracy of the system within the VA, and it is difficult to get in. But once you get in, you find people who are caring, you find people who will go out of their way, you find people you can interact with at the local level. I don't know how many veterans have heard this. 20 million people in the United States who fall into the veteran category. I don't know how many serve on the VA.
24 million.
24 million. How many people does the VA service?
Typically, your VA Connecticut services 55,000. Nationwide is about 6 million.
Okay, 6 million. We're talking about the VA as an example of what the government does. Well, to me, the VA operates effectively because it operates at a local level. I see my specialists at Yale New Haven are that's a lot of our programs.
You probably there too.
I see them at West Haven, and the people I interact with are at West Haven. If it works well, it's not because of what somebody's doing in Washington. It works well because of what people are doing in West Haven. And I don't know that the VA is a good imperative to hold out as an example of what the government could do to serve 100 million or 150 million or 200 million people in a public system, because that is going to be centrally controlled, government controlled. It's not going to be what we see at West Haven. It's not going to be the local care, and as the Commissioner Fox is obviously, there's caring at the local level. And so for the VA to be held out as imperative of what the government can do for public health healthcare system, I don't think is terribly appropriate, and I question using the VA as an example of that, even though I love the VA.
Thank you.
Okay.